Welcome back to another video. I have the Olight Warrior X that was sent in via BanTac. Now this is going to be slightly different format because this is more of a hands-on and a look, which I will give you a few thoughts at the end of. Reason for that is because this is to me more aimed as a weapon light, and I don't have a weapon and I also don't have the switch to test, so I'll carry on anyway as my normal reviews go, and we'll talk about a few things at the end. So opening up the box on this, you'll just see some markings there just to show you about taking out the battery tab and changing the modes. I will show you the torch in the holster because it is quite different to a lot of the torch holsters that you get. This one has a hard outer case, and on the side there is an elasticated part where you can put a spare battery or perhaps a small knife or some sort of item in there. Over onto the back you'll see that we have two loops, but the shape and position of the loops is different to a normal holster, and at the bottom it's also opened up. That's how it comes out the box, with the head facing down and the tail cap facing up. Peel it open, there's your velcro and felt lining inside. It is a very nicely made holster, it has to be said. It's a bit different, so that's why I'm spending a bit of time showing it to you. So what you can do is reverse the torch around if you want, push it down, and then that pushes the tail cap out the bottom, so that gives you access to that if you want, and of course with a hole at the top, so it means that you could use it whilst it's in the holster. What struck me though was the loop position, which seems to be better suited if you've got it on a chest harness. Perhaps it's designed more for that. They do class this as a tactical stroke military torch, so maybe it's designed more for something such as webbing on your chest. That may explain the position of the belt loops, a bit different. So really that's down to your own sort of taste on that one. Now looking at the torch, I put all these sizes and dimensions on screen. It's fairly compact, but you do feel the weight with this. It's pushing a couple 100 grams with the battery inserted, which is a bit more than most torches, but it does have quite a bit of heft to it. Looking at the head part, you can see thick grooves and the crenulated bezel, stainless steel bezel with the blue signature Olight. And that is not sharp, but it does have an edge to it, so you will feel that. You could definitely use that for self-defense, or if you were breaking through glass. That's just a quick shot of the LED and the smooth reflector, and the tail cap or base cap is very much like the normal Warrior in that you have a two-stage switch, so you can feel the first press and then the second press for the full contact on that. So take off the base cap, you'll see the contacts, which are redesigned over the original Warrior. They've changed that a little bit over a period of time. Included battery is a 3000 mAh high drain cell. This one is rated at 15 amps, which is a bit higher than some of the other cells I've looked at. Inside there's your springs in the head section. So when you insert the battery into this, you'll have to put the positive terminal facing down. You'll see the thickness of the body material there. You've got the inner tube with it. Nice clean threads on this, as you'd expect. If you want to use flat top cells, you will have to put a magnetic spacer on the top, but there are some unprotected cells that do come in a button top. You can use them as well. I'm just taking off the tactical ring to show you. There are two O-rings on that. The second one seems to hold the tactical ring in place, and that does have a notch on it, so that fits over the clip and firmly moves into place so that you can't turn it around. You also get an additional tactical ring supplied. This one is a little bit different. It has a thick rubber material on it, so I'll just take off the clip and put that on. There's aluminium on the inside of that, and you'll see that it's shaped as well. Once you've tightened that up, put that down. It doesn't lock it into place, so you can still turn it around, possibly thanks to that aluminium inside, but it does feel quite robust, and the material on it doesn't feel soft. It feels quite hard, so that it should last day-to-day use. And I'll just show you a close-up shot, so you'll see the texturing on that, which also provides a bit of extra grip. So it's a thick, dense rubber grip. Interesting that they've included that. I suppose it might appeal to some people, and you get quite a nice feel using that, although I'm okay with the other metal tactical ring that they've included as standard. The magnetic charger that you get included is very similar to the first generation one, except they've put 1 amp on the outside, and your contacts are exactly the same. So this should be compatible with other Olight products, but obviously as it charges at a higher rate, I would probably avoid using it with the small torches. It does go into place quite firmly. You also get a battery case in the box with this from BanTac. There's your user guide, which I will show you again in more detail shortly. Moving on to the user interface, this is a half press and hold. This is momentary now, and then for a full press and hold for the 2000. So if you push in and hold, you have the two-stage switch to decide which power level you want. For normal operation, as in to turn it on, you press half press quickly for the lower output of 300 lumens and a full press for the 2000 lumens. So that doesn't take too long to get used to, a few minutes. So just have to remember that if you push and hold, you'll get the momentary, and a quick press will turn it on, and then you can just press again to turn it off. There is another mode included. To switch between the modes, what you do is you unscrew it slightly on the base cap and then tighten it up, and you'll see that the light comes on, in this case into the strobe, and then we're on to the tactical mode. So that gives you half press of the turbo, that's on momentary as long as you hold that in. Full press takes you to strobe. Again, they are both momentary. On that, if you want the light to stay on, you have to switch back over to the other mode. So interesting that they've included that. What I'm missing is a mode where you could just use the torch, perhaps have 3 or 4 power levels without the strobe mode. What I can't show you is the battery level indicator because it's done via vibration. So there's obviously a small motor in the torch, but I put the details up there for you. So it does vibrate depending on the battery condition, and it is quite easy to pick that up. You can feel it vibrating even with gloves on. I scanned the user guide for you and put that on screen. You can have a look through there. That's the main details. Fairly simple, doesn't really need much explanation. And the waterproof test, didn't see any issues with that. Magnet on the base isn't strong enough if you've got the torch horizontally, but if you have it facing down, it can hold it in place. There's your battery test, came in almost exactly as quoted, and charging speeds were a little bit under the 1 amp. I got it up to about 850 milliamps. It did go up slightly higher. Starting off with the beam shots at the low output, remember we've only got 2 power levels on this, 300 lumens, and you have quite a good range on this. It's going to be around a couple hundred meters. And then once you kick it up to the high mode, you have that intense hotspot in the middle, and that explains where that additional range comes from. If I shine it down the end of the street, you can see it's lighting up everything in its path. So I quite like the tint on this, and you'll see the neutral white where we get to the night core, which is a cool white torch. So there is quite a difference. It's not super warm neutral white like some makers, but we'll go through a few more of the beam shots, and at the end I'll come back with a few thoughts and a summary on the Warrior X. Some thoughts with the Warrior X. Overall, to me, I think this is aimed more as a weapon light, and of course I can't test those elements of it. The reason for that is, I think, is the 2 power levels. What I would have liked Olight to have done is include another mode where you could get 3 or 4 power levels, and I think it would work much better as a standard tactical torch with that added. So perhaps its appeal is going to be a bit more limited. On the upside, I do like the beam, very good range and extremely good build quality with this. Has to be said, it is on the pricey side too. Do let me know what you think of this in the comments section, and thanks for watching the video.